Sorry.
I don't think we need to do intros. I don't think we need a warm up.
Intros.
Yeah, I
Let's
think we
get
should
into
just-
it, baby. Just
Let's get
punish
it.
us. Punish me, William. Punish me.
That's right. Today's
Let's
movie
be sure
is.
that we talk about
Oh,
this stupid movie.
This is my
a bunch
punishment.
in a way that
Adam would be the
shut
best
the fuck up.
Punisher. Adam would be the best Punisher.
you shut the fuck up,
because he would just interrupt.
dude. This movie has inspired me to fucking. I'm not taking any more of your guys' shit.
first
what
of
did we
all,
watch?
you
We
ruined
watched
the
The
intro.
Punisher.
sorry. I regret.
True punishment.
I admit that I ruined the intro.
You're off the show, Adam. This is your last episode.
Okay, good. Thank God.
Yeah, so we watched 1989's The Punisher, starring Dolph Lundgren. And what inspired me to pick this movie was during Hanzo the Razor Sword. He has all those like booby traps and weapons, and it just made me think of The Punisher. And I love the scene in this movie in the intro where Dolph Lundgren has like a noose and he just like drops it down from the second floor, killing that one mafia guy. And then he like,
Dude, that's the best part.
it's just incredible. There's so many
That's
good.
the only part he's the Punisher.
No way. No,
Very good
he's
news
the
for it.
Punisher.
Yes, and I'm gonna start this argument early.
I have one more
leader-
thing I want to
Okay.
say. The other time he's the Punisher is when he's firing massive rounds of machine gun.
Yeah.
And bullets
Which
are
is
flying everywhere. And that's like
Act 3.
that's like a big part of his character. And that's a big part of that like casino raid.
Oh yeah, that's an
But-
awesome scene.
Yeah, but he's shooting rounds at nothing. At liquor,
Ryan,
casino-
Ryan, let's talk about this movie in a way that people want to listen to it.
Okay, so mute Adam, and then
Yeah.
William and I. Let's talk about this.
Because
Intro the movie. Now we're just talking. We're already like arguing about, or like,
you're the one arguing.
yeah, that's
Arg-
true.
Arguing. Here's the thing, Adam.
I'm gonna
You
start
don't
off
read-
saying I
you don't
loved this
read-
movie.
I'm
You
arguing.
don't read the comic.
I
book.
love Argo.
Jesus Christ, Adam, mute him.
This is me.
William, mute him.
Okay, right now.
So-
Have you read the Punisher comics?
Yes,
Yeah,
not
me
all
too.
of them, obviously, but
Oh, I see.
the
You guys.
one.
I see. Okay. That was a-
I thought he was a great Punisher.
He's an
Visibly,
amazing Punisher.
visibly, his American accent was great. He's 20 feet tall. He was a very good Punisher.
His
I
look
just
is
did-
awesome. It's just
yeah,
missing
it
the
was-
logo.
It was badass. Well, so did you notice what they did with his face?
Yes.
They made his face look like the skull.
yeah,
they
they
did
painted.
some weird fake 5 o'clock shadow.
Oh,
Yes.
very nice.
And so his
Yeah.
face was the skull. And that
They-
opening scene with him
Dude,
driving
cops-
down the sewer was fucking badass. And it was like, strobe light effect. And it was like, that's a skull.
Cop-
That's a Punisher skull.
Cops should have Dolph Lundgren's face tattooed on their arms instead of the Punisher logo.
That was the one thing I hated about the movie is that this Frank Castle was an ex-cop. I hated that.
Yeah, the thing about this movie is that what's tragic about this movie is it does so many things so well, so much better than comic book movies from that time period.
Yeah.
But then it also does it has these arbitrary decisions or these logistical decisions that just like fuck everything up that make no sense. There's no reason to do them. So I listened to an interview with the screenwriter who's a great writer, Bo Yakin. He made that movie Fresh from 94. And like, he's writing this new Netflix movie where it's like a black cowboy movie. coming
I'm
out.
already out.
But he writes a bunch. He makes like he's kind of all over the place as a screenwriter. But he was saying in an
Did you know
interview,
that he was going to say Black Cowboy? What did he say when he said?
I just heard black and I'm out.
but
I
he
only watch Black Lightning. I only watch superhero shows.
well he wrote
What
the
do you
screenplay
say?
when he's like 19 or like 21 or some shit, and
Okay.
he said his initial draft was great. It's just that they came back. They're like, oh, it's too comic book feeling, so we got to get rid of the logo. We got to change some stupid shit. And
People were really afraid of looking stupid making a comic book movie back in
Well,
the day.
Stan Lee got like laughed out of Hollywood when he was like trying to when he was trying to pitch all his comic book movies. They were like, nobody wants this,
He did.
which is he I don't know if anybody literally laughed him out of Hollywood. If Weinstein was just pointing and laughing as Stan Lee was walking down the highway like
Yeah.
the Hulk, but
Everybody
No,
thought
he
comic book movies were dumb until Batman
Yeah.
'89.
Yeah.
Even
and it's
Superman.
it's just crazy because I know there's like some story in some documentary that I watched where about Stan Lee, where it's like he just got turned down left and right when he tried to move to Hollywood and start making movies. And then so he made a bunch of real shitty in the 80s. Like this was an Australian movie, right? The Punisher?
Well, they shot it in Australia, but this
Somebody
is the
went on IMDb.
this is the first
No,
Marvel
it says in the
movie-
beginning Australian Productions.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I just
I missed
actually
that.
paid attention to the movie.
Oh.
This is the first Marvel movie ever made. Besides, and the only other
For
Marvel
real?
the only other Marvel entertainment before this was television. So the
Wow.
Spider-Man show in the '70s, animated
I
shows.
remember that.
But yeah,
Wow.
and it's crazy because this is made by New World Pictures, which is Roger Corman's company with his brother, I think. And they owned Marvel Entertainment for like a few years. So they actually, like, Marvel was on such the outs at this time that
Yes.
Roger Corman fucking owned them. And he wanted to make these like comic book movies, but he could never give them the budget. He never had the money or the distribution to do it. So this is the best one that they made because they also made Captain America, which is awful.
That is comically. He has the clear shield at one point.
Well, it's like that one with the weird rubber suit. It's just fucking
Yeah, that's
terrible.
what people are
it's
afraid
just-
of, or were afraid of back in the day of comic book movies. They're like, well, I don't want to make a fucking movie where the
Yeah, but
guy's wearing
Batman,
They
a
just
suit,
did it
rubber suit.
bad.
dude, Batman just
Yeah, of
that
course,
was-
they didn't see it until.
Well, when,
Batman.
well,
when
they
did
didn't
the-
want to pay
when did
for
the-
it.
When did the Adam West Batmans come out?
The
That was like
60s.
60s.
But that's television.
They had a movie.
Oh,
though,
okay. Oh,
actually.
yeah.
They did have a movie.
The
They did
Adam
have a
West
movie.
Batman had a movie.
Yeah. But it's like a television. It's like a long TV
Sure,
episode.
sure.
So
I
is that
remember
why
watching that.
in this Punisher in the opening credit it said consultant Stan Lee? He didn't get a production credit. Is that because he didn't own the company at this point?
Yeah, he didn't own it. Not at all.
Poor guy.
Because I wondered why the wording kind of threw me off.
He just fucking got just dragged his
Yeah, he
entire
had-
life.
Real shitty career. At the end of the day, his legacy is just trash.
Well, no, he got like all of his money. He had like no money when he died and shit.
Yeah, it's crazy that nobody's going to talk about him ever again. He's just awful
That's not,
legacy.
I'm not saying his legacy. I'm saying
watch-
that he fucking
Kids today,
got
they
taken
watch
for a
those.
ride his whole career. It seems like until like the end.
And not
Like when
even
But
a
he was still
wild
getting
ride.
taken for a ride. All you
It was
get-
like not a
Can you
wild ride.
Use
It was
a
like a
different
bad
metaphor.
he was ridden hard and put away
Uber.
wet.
Yeah, he was like rock hard ridden, and it's like nothing good ever came of anything that he created.
Yeah.
It's almost like he wasn't inevitable.
He'll never be
Why do you say-
remembered.
That's
Look,
Thanos's biggest. You
just
know the
saying he has
giant-
elder abuse. He's a fucking victim of elder abuse. That's all I'm saying. Jesus.
Okay, but Adam, come on. Look, like he's like one of the better treated comic book creators. The rest of them got treated
Oh,
like
sure.
shit.
Oh yeah, isn't he like a piece of shit? Didn't he like steal ideas or something like that too?
No,
How
Oh.
dare you?
Sorry. I mean to tarnish his legacy.
I mean, Deadpool is a joke because DC there's like a weird rivalry situation, not a weird one. It was two competitive companies, and they made Slade Wilson, who was, am I mixing these up? Slade Wilson, who was Deathstroke, and he fought
Right.
Batman, and he was like this immortal swordsman. And so as a joke, they created Deadpool, who had the same exact abilities and the same exact thing. and it was just kind of a joke, like fuck you.
Oh
Yeah, but
yeah.
that's such a
Rob,
stupid character. And then
that's a Rob Liefeld character. That's not a Stan Lee character.
yeah, but he was in charge of all that as it was going down. He worked his way up, didn't
He
he?
stole.
Oh, Rob Liefeld?
No,
Stan
Stan
Lee.
Lee worked his way up to become
Yeah.
the
They were
Marvelomaniac
like-
is what I call him.
I think
He's
they
a
were a much
bastard.
shittier company. And then he started working there as a teenager. I think he is like family. He had a family connection or something. And
Stan Lee?
yeah.
What?
And
So he wasn't even like a self-made guy.
well, he
No,
created.
I'm
he
hating
created
Stan Lee
art.
more
He
the
didn't
more we
create-
talk about him.
He's more like
Bro.
Citizen Kane, dude. He like inherited a comic company and created all of the characters that were good. Like no one remembers the characters from before he worked there.
That's true.
And he was the one that was literally moved to Hollywood and was trying to pitch movies like The Punisher and Captain America. He was trying to pitch all these characters, and like I was saying, getting laughed out of Hollywood. They're like, nobody wants to see this shit. And now it's kind of funny because literally every movie is a Marvel, Avengers, Iron Man TV. It's like the biggest.
They were
franchise in
right at the
world.
time.
No, they weren't. They didn't
Well,
have the
think-
they didn't have the forward thinking that Stanley had.
Let's talk about the movie because
Hold on a second.
Adam's punishing me right now.
they weren't. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Well,
You know,
They weren't right, dude. They were short-term thinkers.
They didn't spend enough
but
money on this
culturally,
movie.
like nerd culture and shit is like was not a thing back then. It was like looked down on actually.
So this movie was tight because
just like listening to like a guy who has no idea what he's talking about.
Oh, I know. I'm just kind of it's just
And
a thought
time,
experiment.
okay, so you want to know what the big trend was at the time, Adam? It was Daredevil and The Dark Knight, Frank Miller recreating those characters as
I
dark
guess it was
characters.
the 80s.
in '89,
It's in the 80s. And then Alan Moore doing Watchmen.
Okay.
So they had just
it was like the
become,
beginning of all of it.
and they influenced Tim Burton.
see,
Tim
I see.
Burton latched onto that. He made Batman awesome.
But they
He
thought
said
that
what- he
they're like,
said,
oh, that's
what
kids
if-
shit. That's why
No,
they
but
didn't want to do it. They're like, oh,
Tim,
this is
Tim
dumb
Burton
kid shit.
goes. Tim Burton goes. What if we did superheroes with claymation and wacky? What if we added spirals to the background?
He didn't get that until Batman Returns, his masterpiece.
That
the
is
Red
what
Circus
William does think
gag.
That's the best.
Okay,
Batman movie.
so this movie was tight, but I will all argue to death that in the Punisher with Dolph Lundgren, the actual person doing the punishing is the leader of the Yakuza.
Yes.
Dolph is just killing people, which is tight.
yes.
He's
Yeah,
just
not doing any
murdering
torture
people.
shit. Yeah.
Mercil- he's not punishing anybody. There's one scene where they stretch that guy out after he
Oh,
after he
yeah.
breaks out of a poorly crafted stretch machine.
Yes. Yeah, like an easily
An
like a
homemade
homemade stretch
crafted
machine.
stretch machine.
Yeah, I could make that in my garage, you know.
I could make that with chains probably. Like it was overcomplicated. I don't want to get
explain what it
torture.
is. It's like a rack. It's like a torture rack.
Yeah, like a rack.
It's a torture rack, but it's got like the rollers. Okay, so it's like a bed. It's like a
It's got-
medical bed, and it's got the rollers that you see, like those metal rollers you see at like the airport
grocery-
when your luggage
Yeah,
comes flying
An
down.
airport or like a warehouse.
A warehouse, a
It's like
grocery
warehouse
store used to
props.
have them.
the way he
and
he gets
then
out
it just stretches the bodies.
Yeah.
By these chains that are bolted together with what are those Y nuts?
Wing
Those
nuts.
Okay, you're
lug
getting a
nuts?
little
wing
too-
nuts.
You're getting a little too detailed. So he's
Well,
like,
the point is like
chained up,
the
he's
wing
being
nuts are these
stretched.
the
Point
wing
is, I
nut.
could do it all in a chain. Give
It's
me one
easy to
chain.
it's a
and I'm
very easy to
figuring
break
it
out of thing.
well, Adam, explain what makes it so easy to break out of.
Dolph Lundgren just like T-Rexes his arms and like can then get to this wing nut and he just unscrews the wing nut and then all of a sudden the guy who's doing it is now in the
Well, he's handcuffed
thing.
and there's a screw on his handcuff that he can loosen with his finger.
yes
Yeah. It's like a C-clamp handcuff.
yes
It's
Like
very
a
easy to
Pac-Man
open.
handcuff. And you wouldn't have to twist
There's
the
no-
wing nut more than like 4 times. I know I'm obsessed with this wing nut because it doesn't make sense.
like
Well,
why the
how-
wing
how do-
nut just
How
use
do
a regular
handcuffs normally work? What
that
kind
you
of
can't
thing?
like It's
You
like
could literally
only
just
a
use
wingnut.
handcuffs. Like you
And
don't
what-
need to
Yeah,
make
only a
wingnut.
wingnut like would allow him to do that. Nothing
Yes,
else.
and it
Are you
was, and the
saying-
wingnut was displayed right by his thumb. So if
Yeah.
Okay, hold
anybody
on.
needed just
Perfect
wiggle their
placement for the
thumb.
wingnut.
Can I
It's
interject?
bad torture. It's a bad.
Are you
torture
saying
device.
handcuffs don't have wing nuts that you can simply unscrew and release?
Just a chain? I could have done it in 2 chains. Call me 2 chains because I could have 2 chain. Let gravity do the work. First of all, why are you making a torture machine that stretches the body out and you're going parallel with the earth? Use gravity, you idiot. Hang
Wow,
them
that's a
up
good.
and stretch them down.
I like that idea.
Work
Actually,
smarter, not harder.
you have good Punisher brain.
I'm a Punisher, and
Yeah, you're a natural Punisher.
this Yakuza leader who got pushed over by a kid once, who got
Excuse me, Ryan. Her name is
I'm
Lady
worked up, man.
Her name is Lady Tanaka.
And she gets pushed over by a child. That's
Well,
the funniest scene in the movie. The leader of the Yakuza gets pushed over by a child.
well, his father is a very powerful mafia boss.
And she
so-
was squatting, sure. But it's just funny.
You
well,
can
she
get
hit
pushed
him.
over by a little kid if they come at you from the right angle. You know.
Yeah,
hit
but
him,
you got to
right?
murder that cool. She had her henchman hit him.
It would have been cool if it was like Itchy the Killer.
But
the
it's like you
Yakuza
have
guy.
to you have to kill everybody that
Or not
saw
Itchy,
that.
the
It's
other
not
guy.
just you hit the kid. If you're the leader of the Yakuza, and she has this reputation. What's her name?
Lady Tanaka.
Lady Tanaka has this reputation where she fed her brother before she slit his throat. She's like this crazy, demonic killer, sociopathic killer. And then she's squatting down talking to these kids she kidnapped. I'm jumping ahead, and I'm sorry, but
No, we should go over
And
the
then-
characters.
she gets
Yeah, that's
pushed
fine.
over. You kill all those kids. I know it's not good for business, but you're supposed to be a crazy sociopath.
Okay. My counter argument is that these are simply the hostages that they've kidnapped. And a very similar plot to Batman Returns, actually, where all the children are kidnapped from the powerful people of Gotham. In this movie, Lady Tanaka kidnaps all of the Italian mafia Don's children. And I felt like that plot line was a commentary on 1980s business where Japan was taking over American companies and there was a lot of anxiety about that.
Oh,
So in this
interesting.
movie, the Italian mafia are fighting with the Yakuza.
Yeah, it was like the Russian like fear mongering and stuff like that, after 9/11 when every bad guy was like a Muslim
A building.
terrorist.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So what how are they displaying? They're not making the mafia look good in this movie.
Well, the other thing that's interesting is the mafia Don, played by the guy from all those Paul Verhoeven movies. He's his big plan is he wants to create a monopoly where he like imports, distributes, and like does everything top to down in the drug trade. So he's like an 80s Gordon Gekko type. He has like slick back hair.
For a second I thought you were gonna say Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
There was no cooking in this movie.
Was there? There's a couple of dinner scenes, right?
Yeah, nobody cooking though. I want to see the prep work.
Well, speaking of food, one thing that really
You
bothered me about the Italian
Should be called
gangsters
a
was
cooker.
they're eating Chinese food.
When
And it's
they're
like-
yeah.
And
Oh,
they're-
nice.
When they're up all night, like worrying about their children. They have
That's
like a
an-
bunch of 80s
That's an 80s
Chinese.
that's an 80s thing though.
Yeah, but they're
Like you got to work overnight,
So-
you're staking out. It's Chinese
Exactly.
takeouts. It's open
But-
24/7.
but they're Italian. They should have like an old lady cooking food. They should have at least pasta. Like the depiction of Italians in this movie, I think, is the worst thing about it. It's absolutely
That's what I was saying.
They're
what's
not
the-
nearly stereotypical enough.
dude, they're not even Italian. They're nothing
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Italian.
It makes sense why Japan is taking over. Like these
Yeah.
guys are blowing.
They're the
it.
most like waspy Italians.
So the lead guy is Dutch.
Like what generation of mafia are these guys? This is like third generation. Like they're the dawn of the dawn of the dawn.
He's like,
Yeah.
my dad was Italian and my mom was Puerto Rican, and now I'm the Godfather. Okay. And also, every one of them acts like John Gotti. They're all talking to the press. They're all bragging to the press.
Oh yeah.
They're all
Forgot about
public
that.
figures. So one of the funniest things, like stats in the movie, is it turns out the Punisher has been working on killing these guys for about 5 years to get revenge for them killing his family.
Yes.
And he's killed 125 members of the
Yep.
mafia. That's so many people. Like
not
how
not counting who he's killed in the movie. So this is like just what the detective knows.
Yeah, it's public
That's
information.
the greatest mass murder. Like that's the greatest serial killer.
He'd
Yeah.
be so easy to find. He would be so incredibly easy to find.
Remember in the opening like
Not
kill
really.
scene where like the house blows up and the news cameras are all
standing right
filming
there,
it and
yeah.
he's just standing.
Well, because Frank Castle is dead. But here's the thing: is if you're into the comic book,
Oh, I
and this
see.
is where you have to attach, you have to like merge the fantasies. And I don't think William can do that. I mean, he can. I know you can do that, but it's like I get so.
Where's your fantasy?
I don't think empathy is the word, but I invested in like the fantasy world where I know my Frank Castle. Frank Castle could do that without getting caught. Like
I
he
know.
could.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Thinking
I-
about
And so
I missed
this
that he
movie
was
is for people that
presumed
already
dead.
know. They already know the character. This isn't like an introduction to Frank
Okay,
Castle,
right.
which I loved. They skipped over
Okay.
his origin and just started. Oh, all of his family was dead. Now he's been killing people for 5 years.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I saw this movie when I was like in first or second grade, and
That explains a lot.
I was reading. The only Marvel comic I liked was The Punisher. I didn't like any other Marvel characters. The Punisher was the
Spider-Man boy.
Because
was the-
Punisher was like the goth superhero.
Well, he was the only one really He wasn't the only one, but he was like murdering people, and he was murdering bad people. So it was
Yeah.
like, is he a good guy? There was no.
Yeah,
Also,
superheroes
there's
are kind
another-
of
Interesting.
inherently lame.
There's an
and he's, like,
important-
not.
There's
I feel
other
like-
there's another element, which is it was the only comic book as a child I could understand without knowing all the history. Whereas Spider-Man, X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, I bought number 284.
X-Men
It was
as a
imp-
whole.
It was impossible to understand. I didn't know any of the characters. They weren't the famous characters. But The Punisher was like an action movie. I mean, it's Death Wish kind of, but as a comic, it's like the other Marvel comic I liked was Deathlock, which was just like RoboCop. Like I liked the Marvel comics that felt like the movies I had been watching, like Schwarzenegger movies or
Right.
Stallone movies.
Yeah, that makes sense. See,
So-
I'm like a romantic guy. Spider-Man was my guy. Like I like the person sacrificing themselves, but you don't have to kill. Like
Want to hear a funny story? So when I was the first comic book I ever
We
bought, I
didn't
was on
say yes.
vacation, and well, you're gonna hear it. So I was on vacation, and my mom was like, why don't you pick out a comic book at the news rack?" And I'm looking at I'm at like a
this
grocery
was
store.
1971.
It's like
Yeah.
91 or 92, and
William's
I see-
47 years old.
He's like 82.
I see Spider-Man 2,
It was right after Pearl Harbor.
Todd McFarlane, and then I see Deathlock #1, the relaunch, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll take this Deathlock because I don't want to get the second issue of Spider-Man made by Todd McFarlane, which ended up becoming like a giant series.
Yeah, it's one. Yeah,
That's
So
a
that
funny
was-
story, William.
That's a real sliding doors moment.
Yeah.
it makes sense.
I used to get comics sometimes, but I would kind of just looked at them. I didn't like really read them.
You would just like wipe your ass with them.
Adam, what do you actually pay attention to in life? Your kid is going to be like 14 years old and you'll be like, yeah, so, I guess my child, this is his name. God, I don't really know what happened in the last 14 years, but
Whoa, you're
I
14?
give him a 3 out of 5 stars.
No, I would give my son 5. for
All right,
sure.
Adam, you seem pretty worked
I
up about
got a 5-star baby.
you seem pretty worked up about this movie. Why don't you give us your reaction, your opinion coming from where you are?
I don't, Wick just came in, and there's kind of a lot going on right now. To
This
be
is
like
the
put in the
Adam-
hot seat.
This is the Adam hot seat. It's all right.
I'm in the hot seat. I thought it was I liked the scenes and stuff, but well, like there's all that Lou Gossett Jr. shit that like,
Oh, he's the best.
well, those scenes are like,
How dare you?
I don't know. It's
What about his female partner?
pretty
She's the
shitty.
best.
I thought this movie was pretty shitty.
Yeah, you told me this was another bad William pick, and I would.
This
I wanna
movie
give you-
was
Well,
so good.
I'm saying that because William keeps picking these movies that like nobody has seen or wants to see, and that
I
we
didn't know
don't
there was-
recommend.
This movie's so
That's-
popular.
Kind of, and this is the movie that this came out like what 4 years after the Rocky IV movie.
This
Dolph
movie's
was in.
popular.
Yeah,
This movie's popular.
It was interesting to see Dolph doing this movie. Was very popular.
this is a cult
It was-
classic, dude. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I assumed it was like a blockbuster at the time.
No, it didn't even get released in theaters, but every kid rented this movie.
Dolph was so good. He was such a good Frank Castle. Visually,
Such a tragedy.
He sounds
Such
like
a
Tommy Wiseau.
tragedy. Such a tragedy what happened to
I
him.
mean, I don't know about
Dolph?
that, but
Yeah,
Dolph or Frank Castle.
Dolph.
Oh, what
His life
happened?
is much
to
more.
him?
Well, just the fact that he's in Rocky V or Rocky IV, and it's just like giant hit, very iconic character, and then he just couldn't reach the levels of a Stallone or even a Chuck Norris. Like,
It's because he was not American.
yeah, but
But I mean-
Jean-Claude Van
Jean-Claude Van
Damme was
and,
even
and
bigger.
Schwarzenegger.
I was gonna say Schwarzenegger became a freaking politician, but maybe he didn't have the finesse like that.
This movie's. What would you guys give it star wise?
We're not
Oh,
there yet.
5
Just
easy.
say what you
But
give it. Jesus, who gives a shit?
this was so good
What would you give it, William?
I gave it 2 stars, but
Oh,
there's so much I like about it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. Is like the movie is like there's a lot of boring shit that's stupid in the movie,
what was the
Okay.
boring stupid shit?
or it's just like dumb. It's like bad writing.
What was the most
That's
boring
like
stupid
it's like
shit?
badly written, but
Yeah,
the set
but
pieces are
I think it's the directing. I think the script is
yeah.
fine. It's the movie, like if you had real money behind this movie, it could be fucking great. Like
I didn't.
one of the big issues is they shot it in Australia, which looks awful. And the reason is the
'Cause he's
director
a New
said,
York boy.
well,
Frank Castle.
it's unnamed city apparently. Or
Yeah,
it-
but Frank Castle lives in New York.
yeah, it's a New York movie. And at first they were thinking Seattle. And then they were like, oh, we have a production company in Australia. So they're just like, all right, we're saving money. So then they had a cast.
I'm glad they did that because then they could spend that money on better things, right?
No, if they just spent, they needed to spend like 3 times the amount of money.
I know, but them filming it in Seattle, it would have been
Well,
a
you
worse
need
movie.
If
'cause
you
they
had,
would've-
if they shot in New York, that's what I'm saying. That would have been the real
well,
solution.
yeah.
With Italians, with gangsters. Not with these weird blonde Dutch Australian fucking losers. Like these Italians are
Oh
offensive.
yeah, they're all Australian. I feel like
They're all British
the
and
head of the
Australian.
mafia is Australian. An Australian guy is he looks like.
The head of the mafia, the main mafia villain is Dutch. He's in
It-
Fourth Man and Soldier of Orange.
Hmm.
He's a good actor. He's
Looks
just
like
a
Rupert
miscast.
Grint. Oh no, Rupert Everett.
It would have been funny if one of the final scenes was Dolph the Punisher, Frank Castle, standing over Sydney, Australia. It's like a panning shot, zooming out, and he goes, "I finally cleaned up the city in New York." And then it pans out, and it's clearly Sydney, and he goes, "Oh, fuck." And he's just like this ultimate badass, but he cleaned up the wrong city.
What did you think of those cop cars?
He's like, shit.
Yeah, totally.
Of his what?
Those cop cars. Did you recognize those? They're like these awful, horrible cop
Are you
cars.
talking about the armored one?
They're Australian, but no, the cop cars in the movie after the fucking bus chase.
Yeah, they're just guard cars.
They're like the shittiest. It's like some
Yeah.
car I've
I
never
mean, they
seen in
don't-
America, and I looked it up, and it's like an Australian car. Like who even knew There was an Australian car.
and they doctored it up.
Right.
And
Yeah, you're right. Maybe that's
That's the main issue. You can
maybe
make
that's
this movie.
why. Maybe that's why the writing felt bad, was because
that's where you
it
draw the
didn't
line.
have like the nice like
It's not
production
directed well.
value
This-
or like
okay.
that like
Let me explain the
But it
director.
makes it
kinda
fun to
was, but it
watch. It
kinda
just kind of
was
like it just seems
directed
shitty and cheap.
Let me explain who the director is. So it's directed by Mark Goldblatt, who is an editor. He was such a big action movie editor that
Oh, that's cool.
he started making movies.
Adam.
I like
And
this guy now.
he edited Terminator 2, Commando,
Oh, Commando's so good.
like a bunch of really big movies.
Adam, the editor, who has directed 2 movies, is just getting rock hard right now.
Yeah, but the
He's-
one he doesn't know how to
he's changing
direct.
his-
So like that one scene where he busts into the casino and starts firing,
Yeah.
all he does is like it's like shot of the guy shooting the gun, and shot of the thing getting shot.
And then he keeps doing that face, like the orgasmic face, and he's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back and forth. It's all shot for editing. And it's all like simply all the staging is so simple,
He also directed Dead Heat,
which is a great
Joe
movie.
Piscopo movie.
It's a brilliant movie. That's like I think that's Hong Kong produced, but that movie is awesome.
You know who is the actual main character of this movie? Shakes.
Shake.
Shake, the drunk thespian.
Yeah, he was a British.
That scene when he's
gentleman.
at the bar and he goes, "Would you buy this thespian a drink?" And he goes, "Wait a minute, you're a what?" And he's like, "Thespian means actor." And he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, here's $10."
He's wearing like a Los
love
Angeles
actors.
Raiders hat.
Nice.
And he
Well,
just
of
talked in
course-
rhymes. Who was that guy? What was his story? I want to watch a movie about that guy.
Shake or the guy at the bar?
Shake.
Jake is wouldn't it be so weird if you knew this like drunk hobo guy and he was like a British gentleman?
And he lived in a basement.
But I
Yeah.
don't think he was
And he's
British.
from Nebraska. And he's from Nebraska.
And I don't think he was British. He just
was-
talked in a British. I
was
can
just
see. I can't do
acting.
accents.
He's a British actor at pretending
was
to
just
be
acting.
American. Or
Oh, he
Australian
was trying
actor.
to. He
But
wasn't trying to
no,
sound
I'm talking
British.
about the character. I'm not talking about the actor. I'm talking about the character. Shake could be anybody because
Well, that's his
he
natural
proclaimed
accent. I
him.
can't remember.
He proclaimed himself as a thespian,
it's bizarre.
and so he's
Oh, I
he's
see.
trying to talk in this like
Guys,
he's a chameleon.
thespian. No, he's just like
He's
a douchebag drunk actor.
there's something else about him
Oh, I
you're
see. I
not-
see what you're saying.
You're forgetting, which is
What?
how does this drunk actor guy know about very secretive mafia deals and
They never
underground
explain
events?
it.
Yeah,
They never
drunk.
that's
explain
really
it.
funny.
He's not a cop or like
Wait.
a
Did we
It's not an
explain who this
inside
guy
man.
is?
Shake is his dumb partner.
No, he's like
He's
his
like-
informant.
He's like, you know how Sherlock
and he's
has,
like a-
has like
a
Sherlock
drunk guy.
Holmes has like a whole network of homeless people, and that makes sense that Sherlock, like all these homeless people hear things, hear rich people because they're just begging on the street. So it makes sense that there's like a network and they can hear things. The Punisher, Dolph's Punisher, has one guy who is a drunk thespian, a very drunk thespian that just knows all this information. But I
Yes.
guess, I mean, I think the
We should have
proof,
mentioned that before we started.
the proof is, or not the proof, but like in the opening scene when we meet this character and he goes to the bar, in this crowded bar, he goes to this, I want to say like
Why does he get kicked out of the
conservative
bar?
bar because he's begging.
He doesn't have any
He's-
money.
He's harassing. He's a drunk. He's a drunk
So
that
they-
is
well-
asking.
Yeah,
he
he's
asked,
a guy
he
who
asked-
wandered in.
So listen, he asked this other customer who I would say probably has conservative views.
Okay, just
Because-
the scene isn't important. What happens is
You
he's
could call
thrown out
that
of the
guy
bar.
conservative.
But I'm answering your question. Why he knows these things is because he just gets around and drunk, and he's harmless enough to probably invade
He's
conversations.
like a Bubbles
and
from The
learn.
Wire.
He's like, oh, excuse me. What's
Yeah,
that?
He can
I
just
picked
learn
up
and
this
yeah,
really
he can
good piece of
learn information.
Yeah.
He can go into whatever crowd and talk about. You hear about this guy? I'm just a drunk thespian.
I mean, he's not like inconspicuous though.
No, he's just
He's a fucking-
harmless. People
No,
think
he's like
harmless.
a very theatrical.
Yeah, yeah, he's like
British
doing
drunk guy.
pratfall. He's like Willy Wonka.
He's not
He's
like a
Gene
smooth.
Wilder and Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
You know he auditioned for
He's
that.
like really-
He probably
Uh,
smells like piss.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
smells like piss. Like nobody's
you
gonna like
wouldn't
let him
invite-
get near them. What are you talking about? Like,
Bro, I've pissed my pants so many times at bars, and I've learned so many things about people. They let me sit on their lap full of piss.
that's weird.
They just tell me
That's
everything,
surprising.
dude.
They molest you.
And they go, no, they don't get that far. And they go, what's your name? And I go, Shake.
Now
So you're
explain what
Shake.
happens to Shake after he's thrown out of the bar.
Oh yeah, a
I think we
toy
need to explain
truck.
what kind of like Punisher technology that
This is a good Punisher move. A
He
toy
has
pickup truck comes up with
the-
a bottle of booze.
the
it's like-
slowest.
On a
thing.
remote control,
On a
like
remote
remote
control,
control
yeah.
truck, which is never
Like-
shown again, never used again. You would think he put a
No
bomb on
shit,
it.
it shouldn't have been used once. That
Well, he's
shit was
trying
like
to
a
be-
double A
Okay,
battery, 2 AA battery truck. It went less than it went so slow that
Well,
even as drunk
you just think
could
it's
have
a shitty
caught it.
remote controlled car.
He was.
Didn't you
15
think this
feet.
was
He could have walked to
magical,
the
like-
corner. The Punisher could have
Yeah,
walked to the
yeah.
corner.
Like why did he
No.
spend the time to
The
get
Punisher
this?
could
Just
have walked to the corner and been like, "Hey, come into this alleyway. I got a bottle of booze."
but he would be seen. He has to hide. He needs to use a remote control
Oh, I see.
truck
Nobody was in
with
there.
a bottle of booze to
That shit was dumb
ensnare
as hell.
this.
It was just
Shake
a little bit of
character.
fun early in the
He
movie.
was. He
It was
was
a bit
just.
of fun.
He was just having a bit of fun. The Punisher has a
Yes.
bit of fun every now and again.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like us. He's not always punishing.
It was too. The remote control car was too slow. That's all I'm saying. It was poor. There was I feel bad for the actor that played Shake because you could tell he could have grabbed the bottle at any moment, but he had to pretend like he could barely reach. It was just barely out of reach, but he was literally over. It was so stupid. That was the most punishing scene.
That was the punishment for the audience. Yeah,
That was the.
it's a little meta work by the Punisher.
What did you think of that first drug deal scene or whatever the hell it was?
The one with the house blows up.
No, the one where it's like at night at the docks.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of good
and then
docks
we're introduced
in
to
this
the
movie.
With the
Yeah.
ninjas.
Some beautiful
the
docks.
The
The
Yakuza,
Yakuza.
ninjas take over.
This movie
That was cool.
has some beautiful docks and beautiful warehouses. So docks and warehouses movie.
docks, broads, and warehouses. That's what
Yeah.
I say about this movie. And Dolph. Docks, Dolphs,
Docks and
dolls.
warehouses.
broads, and warehouses. And that's in the bio.
It's extremely violent when the Punisher or the ninjas or whoever is like murdering someone in the scene. And this is the director's cut version now. So all of the really gory shots that they reinserted were the only surviving copies from a VHS. So
I liked that.
it looked really shitty, but it's kind of a cool effect.
I liked that. And I
Wait,
told
wait.
my dad, I was watching it with my dad. Whenever it cut to
What?
somebody getting could you not tell, Adam, when it was?
Oh yeah,
like-
yeah. It was kind of like The Firm, where it had the degraded footage of the
Yeah.
of the violent scenes.
Yes.
Yeah. And so for like the first couple, I was like, oh, this is just a director's choice. And then after a while, I was like, oh, this is the knowing William, this is the director's cut. And so I told my dad, I was like, this is what and then my dad wasn't there. My dad hasn't been there for like 40 years. I just talked to a ghost of him.
That's cool, man.
Well, I'm sure he's
So-
listening.
My dad walks into the room. Right. Kevin's tight.
Your dad?
Corvette Kevin.
Nice. Kevin County.
I liked all of those. Yeah, Corvette Kevin County. I
That's
liked
awesome.
all of those.
It's like Diamond Dallas Page.
No, it's not. It's Corvette Kevin County.
It's the same sort of
Well, a Corvette's probably a little more expensive than a Diamond, but I get what you're saying. It was Corvette. It was Corvette Day yesterday.
you not know who Diamond Dallas Page is?
Yeah.
DDP?
Do you not know who
CC,
KK C
C,
C
CKC.
CK? Yep.
Yeah, this is good. This is good stuff. Anyway, the
CV,
Punisher.
CVK.
CBD. Wish your dad was CBD, and I'd smoke it. Love it.
Wow, you love
smoking that CBD.
getting high on that
Dude,
CBD.
Dude,
Love it.
Adam,
Like-
honestly, I think you got a freaking problem, bro.
I know. I'm hooked on the CBD. Yeah. Let's see. Warehouses, the sewers.
The warehouse was cool with his crossbow, which he never brought back.
Yeah, he only used the stuff once.
Well, he has a crossbow with a scope on it.
One of my biggest pet peeves. Well, that's fine. But one of my biggest pet peeves.
Sure.
He never, the entire movie, he stabs so many people and he never pulls the knife out. He stabs somebody with a dagger
Oh,
and
yeah.
he leaves it in their body and
A
then he
sword.
continues on.
Well, that's the only
Or a spear.
item of his
That's
that
his
has the
calling card.
that has the logo.
But how many? That's like financially so stupid. What has he got a forge under in the sewers he's living at? Is he down there just forging knives with skulls? Where is he getting these weapons? Because this is before swordswords.com, which I am sponsored by the website swordswords.com. You
Just
can get
Ryan
anything
personally.
customized. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's killing people, but he's not stealing any money from these gangsters. He like that casino. He should steal the money and donate it to charity, or like and keep a little bit to
Yeah.
survive
Or
on. Like, he should
use it to buy military weapons to continue his crusade.
Right. Use it for yourself. That's good. That's good thinking, Ryan. I really liked
Yeah.
the opening tracking shot into that where they like the lady walks into the club and you see it for the first time.
Yeah, that was
That was
confusing
awesome.
though. It was very
It was-
cool, but I was like, I thought
was-
she was going to be more of a character.
It was like that Goodfellas tracking shot or like that Boogie Nights shot where he goes into the club, but everything was just incredibly stupid in the shot. You just kept seeing ridiculous shit.
Staring at the camera.
Yeah.
it will take a
Um,
student film. Like you had to
yeah.
make like a nightclub
Yes.
or like an underground casino for a student film. So instead of walls, it's just like they're just hanging like cloth to make fake walls.
Yeah.
And there's like slot machines and a few tables and a bunch of like really hokey, dumb extras. Nobody looks like a real person. It's really hard to even tell if it's a Yakuza nightclub at first. I guess it is at the end.
There's a lot of white people.
That
There's
guy
like a
who-
lot of white people.
The guy who's like the sheik or like the Saudi Arabian like
Yeah.
guy with
Yeah.
the sunglasses and the two
Very
ladies
80s.
walking
Yep.
with a huge smile. It was awesome.
Which this kind of stuff in comic book movies, even this early on, blows my mind because like in the comic books, they have it all written. They've got your storyboard written out right there. Like, how are you like just read the comic book, take one of the panels and be like, oh, this is what the casino looks like.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
recreate that. But I guess it's a budget thing.
maybe they did
No,
do
they're
that.
arrogant.
No, but like comic.
Yeah, that's what it
it's-
is, right? Like, how do you fuck that up? It's arrogance. Just like
no, I think it's
take
like it might be hard to translate because it's like comic drawing is like minimal.
a casino, dude.
So
They
you're
fucked
well,
up
you're
that
seeing
casino.
you're not seeing a photograph of a casino, which has like a lot of detail in it. You're
Well,
seeing
Have
an
you
Adam,
read a
outline.
comic book, Adam?
I have not read the comic book.
So
Any comic book.
I've read a comic book. Okay.
Yeah,
I
but he
just
didn't. You didn't
usually
follow
just
the
look at them.
story. You just read it out of order.
Just like look at that picture.
Just like a baby wiping your butt with a comic book.
No, I was
I read a
appreciating the art.
Listen, I read a comic book after I wiped. I had to look to see if there was poop on it to know if I was done or not. And I saw a couple panels, and I just kept doing that maybe 3 or 4 times until there was no poop left, and then I had to actually read the full panel. And then I flushed.
I love comics.
What's your favorite comic?
I don't have one.
Pretty funny. Way to riff. Right
Oh,
before the
how
show, Adam is like,
Riffing is not you asking me a question and then
No,
like,
you riffing on
you-
the question.
you. Why do you riff about it? Jesus
William
Christ.
asked me.
Ryan,
Ask
what is
me
your
my fa-
favorite comic book?
Well, if I'm gonna be absolutely honest with you, probably Playboy. And like when you get to the middle of it, like after you read a couple of
Wait a
them, and you-
minute. That's not a comic book, Ryan.
when you get to the middle of them, you turn it sideways, and
You
there's
guys are-
pink,
you guys
pink,
are crazy.
pink,
You
pink
guys are crazy.
panels. And I go,
guys are
this
such
shit is
cut-ups.
comical. No, honestly
That
though,
was a
no,
good riff,
William.
dude.
Honestly though,
Well, at least Ryan.
all riffs
bombed
aside,
with-
William, all
confidence.
riffs aside, my favorite.
You asking us
comic
questions and
is
us
Fluffy.
don't ask questions. This is it's a basic rule of improv.
Adam.
Just don't ask questions. Say things or whatever.
Okay, Adam. Oh, right.
I forget.
Why don't you just tell everybody your favorite comic book is Little Gay Boy
Hentai.
magazine
It's a magazine. It's
from
not a comic.
Japan in the 70s. It's out of print.
All right, well,
It's
William,
basically
cut-
child pornography. So
cut. Let
explain
me
to
do it
everybody
again.
how
Let me do
you.
it again. Hit me. Ask me again.
I'm not allowed to ask questions, Ryan. I can only assign.
Adam,
Oh,
ask
you
me
can
a
do
question.
it. It's just bad.
Adam, ask me
improv.
what's my favorite comic.
Adam,
Just do it again.
paint
I got it now.
Ryan.
I got it now.
What's your favorite comic?
Oh,
Hentai.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the
Hentai
joke.
pornography.
hey, Adam.
That's the right. That's the funny answer that we were looking for this whole time.
Ask me my favorite comic.
No, I'll ask you what your favorite ice cream is and see. Okay, now say something funny. Riff on that.
I don't like ice cream.
That's not a riff. Just because Ryan's laughing at that.
Clip it. Clip it. Clip
Dude,
that.
that's-
Clip it. Clip it.
So ask me another question.
No,
Clip
I
it,
don't want
dude.
to.
Clip that.
Oh,
Ask me
Okay,
another
what's
question.
what's your favorite? Like, if you, what's your favorite way to be punished?
I don't have one.
oh, I see. I
Clip
see
it.
what you're saying.
Clip it. Clip
But
it.
still,
clip it.
Adam's
clip
so
it.
I
fucking
get
bad
what you're
at
saying, though.
improv and so bad at riffing. Let's just. I mean,
Adam, what's your favorite riff?
You're not riffing. You're just calling back the thing that I did
Clip
that
it.
I like gave you or whatever.
No, don't clip that. Don't clip
You're not
that.
riffing.
Got
You're
it.
no, I'm doing.
not
Got it.
I'm
riffing
doing,
off
it.
of anything or in like
I'm
any
doing
like
purposely
original
bad
way.
improv. The riff is I'm doing purposely bad improv because what rule in improv is
But what is
don't
my
ask
my
questions.
response supposed to be? That is, what would it like? You
okay. I muted him. Okay, so in improv, you don't ask
Clip
questions,
it,
and
clip
the
it.
other thing you don't do is you don't
Don't clip them.
deny another person. So it's a very simple thing I'm doing. I'm sure anyone with like 101 improv skills would know exactly what I'm doing.
well, you're not like
and-
there's no
yes,
joke.
and
So
what-
yeah, I'm trying to answer the question sincerely.
There's no joke.
Nobody.
Me and Ryan are laughing on camera, and he's just like, "There's no humor."
No, I'm
here."
saying that when you say that at the beginning,
Okay,
the
ask
thing
me.
that started this whole thing
riff is
off.
creating a joke.
Okay,
Hit me with a riff, Adam.
yeah, hit us with a riff.
Hit me with a riff.
Let's do a riff and a rant.
If you want to
Start
see a
with the
riff,
riff.
why don't you guys fucking look at your dicks?
All right,
Those are
you
fucking
can't get
bad.
it start. That's a try.
Why? Okay. Why? What's wrong with their dicks?
because they're tiny and don't work.
Like your brain.
Which way? Clip it. Clip it.
Don't clip
clip
that.
it. Clip it. Clip it. Clip it. Clip it.
They don't work in either way with coming or peeing.
Go on.
And
Great. I get a
I
lot
kind
done.
of just wanted to leave it at the first thing that I said.
Hold on though. Go on because you're onto something. Go on.
Riff
got
ended
Adam on
after
the
the
hot
first thing I
spot.
said.
He's being
Clip it.
punished.
Man, I was in the hot seat. I didn't even know it. Yeah, you just keep trying to put me in the hot seat.
Well, you're like, dude, I didn't like this movie you picked. This is another bad William pick. And then you're like, let's not go through the plot. Let's just do
Well,
riffs.
I guess why
and then when we riff,
that's not you
Like, it's
asking
just
me a
not
question is not riffing. You
I asked you to ask me a
you
question.
say something.
I asked
What?
you to
As-
set me up, and it was very simple, and you couldn't even do it. You were like,
No, you
I'm
said
being
you said
tricked.
Adam, what's your favorite comic book?
You're like,
That's not
I don't.
riffing.
Well, you didn't even give like a sincere answer.
Well, that's the thing. It's a hard question for me to answer because I don't even like remember.
What's
I
your
don't-
favorite
I
superhero?
had comics, but I didn't like.
remember.
I didn't pay
Okay,
attention,
man?
so I didn't.
What's
I didn't.
What's
I
your-
don't remember.
what's your favorite superhero?
I don't remember. Okay,
He left. I think he left.
I muted him.
I didn't leave.
Oh.
I muted him. Do you remember?
What's your favorite superhero?
The Punisher.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Why?
Uh,
You know what? I know why you're punishing me when I ask you that. I get it. I know why he's your.
If you just say something
I'm
that
not-
makes
Anything.
sense, you'll get to a joke in like 2 sentences.
I'm not worried about that as much as you guys are.
We're doing a podcast
Well,
that people listen to. This ain't just the three of us talking about a
Ryan, what do
movie.
you like about
well,
the
I know,
Punisher?
but I'm like,
Here's what I like about this.
I prefer the
specific
conversation.
Punisher.
prefer the instead of the like hot
You just
seat.
like
No one-
saying
but no
joke,
one
like,
else does.
idiotic non sequiturs in the middle of us talking.
Here's what I like. Here's
I'm just trying to
what I
talk.
like.
I'm trying.
Here-
Honestly, you guys
honestly-
are very hard to be a third person trying to talk during. So
Here's
'cause
what
it's,
mute him
I
again.
can't get shit.
Mute him
in.
again.
We give
Here's
you
what,
all the we let you talk
Oh yeah,
all the
I'm
time.
getting muted on top of it. Jesus.
Here's
What do you like about the
uh,
Punisher?
Here's what I
don't give a
hated
fuck about
this
the
movie.
Punisher.
Okay.
Ryan, what do you like about the Punisher?
Here's in my biggest discrepancy with most films is always not enough nudity. And in this movie, The Punisher, I was 99% about to be like, this movie sucks because there's not enough nudity. And then the final cutscene happened, and I go, there's that Dolphy ass. You
Final
see
cutscene.
full
That's
nude.
that's like
There
the
actually
first,
there is nudity.
in the
There's a
casino.
start-
There's a
That's what I'm-
topless woman.
Yeah,
There's like
but
a
I don't
muscle
care about
woman.
that. I want to see the Punisher nude.
Where you see his ass.
Yeah, you
Listen,
do.
I've seen a lot of women nude. I've
He's
never
living-
seen Frank Castle, the
Okay,
Punisher,
alright.
nude.
He's
And
living
the most
in
I got
the
was
sewer.
this ass crack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never
That's
seen
all
sewer
show.
Frank Castle.
He's
This
a
is like-
tease.
I've seen the Ninja Turtles nude. Listen, I've seen a lot of sewer dwelling superheroes.
Those were
nude.
tails, dude. Those weren't their
Yeah.
wieners.
Pretty funny.
See, this is, and then like, why would I talk? If this is.
No, they were their dicks,
Oh,
dude. Here,
boy.
I'll send you the pictures of the nude Ninja Turtle photos I have.
Well, yeah.
That's
Sorry, it wasn't as
improv.
good. It wasn't as good as the joke that you made, William.
Which joke?
Nothing. He said nothing. Fucking sat in silence, fucking shaking.
Look, I'm
You
just trying to make
shivering.
Ryan
Like,
laugh.
oh
and
man,
if
I hope Adam
if
says something soon so I can fucking start talking, acting like I'm being funny,
All right, do a
making
riff.
jokes.
Do a riff.
What'd you
and a
think
rant.
about? What'd you think about?
That was
the
it. That was the riff. Stop. Just because you say.
That was a hot rant. That was a good rant. You're ranting about
Fucking-
Will. That's
I am the hot seat now. I'm hot.
What'd you think about?
What did you want to say about that, William?
no.
Okay. What, Ryan?
Is that why you always are wearing
told you, this
gym
movie
shorts
pumps me
and a
up.
tank top? You're just too hot all the time.
Yeah. No, now I need to change into a tank top, dude.
What are you
getting too
wearing
hot.
right now?
What are you talking about? I'm on video.
No,
You're
you're
not.
not.
Oh, I'm not?
I
Oh,
turned
my
your
bad.
video off.
How
Oh,
unaware.
William stopped the video, it says.
Oh,
Let's talk about the movie.
that
Just
adds up.
finish this. I want to get back to my life, which is great. I have this great
this
life.
is your life, Adam. This is your life on a bi-weekly
This
basis.
is my hell.
Make this
Just
be your life. Hell is
Look,
also life.
Just kidding. I enjoy having a schedule. It's nice.
Look, I like this new Adam. He's fighting back. That's good. It took like 7 months or
Dude,
whatever.
I'm telling you, this movie,
That's you fighting back.
it's got me wanting
Pun.
So you like the movie, right?
to punish. Yeah.
Adam, tell us what you like most about the movie.
No, ultimately I thought it was boring. But and stupid, but in ways that were like kind of frustrating. But I thought, yeah, I mean, it's okay. The red light fight scene is cool. I like that. And I like the opening. That was weird. The opening credits.
Yeah, the opening credits are done by like some guy who's done like a million fucking
I-
movies. He did Total Recall. I looked him up on
Oh, nice.
Wikipedia. He was like way overqualified.
He should be that title or credit sequence maker should be more of a big position in movies. like
what you do?
a revered artist position.
They are. What are you talking about?
I mean, not
Saul
like
Bass,
not widely though. Yeah, Saul Bass, like what? He's the only one.
Kyle Cooper.
Who's that? Never heard of him.
Kyle
Wait,
Cooper
there's
did.
people. Hold on, there's people that
I work in the
just
industry,
do
which
the.
is funny.
There's people that just do
Yeah, so I'm telling you.
the opening credits
People
and they
don't know.
don't do the rest of the movie. I'm being serious. I'm being like my ignorance is serious. It's genuine. There's people that only
Well, I'd
edit
say-
the opening sequence.
Right.
I'm
Depends.
Adam,
So
I'm being
stupid.
serious. I'm sounding like you right now, but I'm being serious.
It depends.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Usually,
Who is the
it's-
guys you just said? They
I don't
just do
know.
the opening.
That's
Saul
my
Bass.
point. Is that these guys should be? This should be more of like a. They should win. How come this doesn't have an Oscar? Best
They-
opening sequence or
I'm
best
not doing
visual
a bit
sequence?
about it. I didn't even know that there was. Why is there a job where somebody just does the opening and then leaves the rest of the movie? Why don't they edit the rest of the movie?
Well, it's like a different skill. It's making like a cool artsy
Hollywood
title
is dumb
sequence.
as shit. Dude.
Well, it's
These movies are
evolved
stupid
over
as
time.
fuck.
It evolved over time to become more important. You know,
I mean,
and
Movies are made by
obviously,
like
like-
hundreds of people.
like James Bond would have a very big title sequence. You know, or
Yeah, with the barrel and the da-na-na-na, and then he shoots at the barrel. That was pretty
yeah.
cool.
Plus all the
Yeah.
the song, and then the opening
and then
credits.
they,
for James
and then they
Bond are
just
basically
dip and they go to another project.
well, they're working. It's like the director doesn't have time to worry about that. That's not their real.
But you can go to college to specifically get opening credit. So you can go to a movie, cinema, whatever they call it.
What's
You
the
can
track for that? What's the track for that, William?
So there is one guy, Kyle Cooper, was so big with making opening titles. He designed the titles for Seven. He designed the titles for Home Alone. He designed the titles for hundreds and hundreds of movies. He has a company called Prologue, and before that, he worked at a company called Imaginary Forces. He ended up directing a movie, kind of like Mark Goldblatt. Like he reached such respect in the industry that he was able to make his own independent film. And I believe he designed his own opening title sequence, and it's very funny and it's very pretentious and it's like really bad. And it like the opening title is like overtly complicated. It's like every letter is a different font. There's lots of animation. All the letters like move in like from off screen into the middle and to like make up like the title sequence and then go off. It's like way too busy. So the thing is with like title sequences, you really don't want the director like focusing on that bullshit. They have way more important shit. to
Yeah,
work on.
totally. Also,
You know
like
what I
I don't
remember
know,
from
it's
Home
like good to
Alone.
bring in all other people that are good at
Home Alone
something.
title sequence is awesome. It's very short.
But you
for the
know,
music.
what I and
Oh,
like
yeah.
the rest of the world remember from Home Alone
What?
is wow. Nobody gives a shit about that stuff. They just want to watch a movie. They're not nerds like you guys.
The Little House. You don't
No,
like
Nobody
or
cares
remember
about
Little
the
House?
font.
People talk about cool opening credit sequences all the time. I feel like.
Nerds, dude.
That's part of the movie, though.
True Detective.
Yeah, but
That's
nerds.
just saying, like, the movie's
True
good.
Detective. Nerds. Name another
West-
one.
Westworld.
Nerds.
Okay. What about
What are we talking about?
Star Wars?
Nerds, dude.
What about Superman?
You want to know what people remember about Star Wars?
The tits.
No, ask anybody. Chewbacca.
Dude, he had-
Brrrah.
It would have been so cool if Chewbacca had like a big floppy dick.
He does. It's hairy. He's grapevining it. That's when
And
the
Han
pubes
Solo
go all the way
had
down
to
your
suck it
penis.
every night.
If John Solo was just in chaps, like leather chaps.
Yeah,
like, come on,
yeah.
Chewie, we gotta go.
People would
We
care
gotta
about
fly.
that.
And they're just like,
People
Like,
would care
hey,
about that over the font in the intro. Are you kidding me?
He kind of
Nobody-
moves like a guy that is wearing assless chaps, so it's really funny to picture him in assless chaps. It's
He's
like,
like, this is the
that's his
best-
character design.
this is the best pilot we could afford, Luke. He's like,
He
"I don't know
wears
about this
assless
guy."
chaps, and Chewie has a huge dick that's always visible.
and Adam watches the movie and he's like, it's kind of a shame nobody like gives credit to the guy that did the opening sequence. It's like, what are you talking about? There's a fucking
All right, Jesus.
there's a fucking Alf.
All right, we're getting
Giant
sidetracked.
Alf.
Let's talk about the climax, which
George
is
Lucas
like,
should do that. Should make that.
well, there's
those
two scenes we
changes.
have to talk about before we wrap up. So
Yes.
after all the children are
Wrapping up.
kidnapped,
I'm gonna go pee. I can hear you.
Dolph Lundgren, the Punisher, steals a school bus. He gets an extremely large school bus to rescue like 7 kids.
Yeah.
He could have just gotten like a pickup truck or a fucking van, but no, he gets like a giant school bus.
He goes all out.
And also, it's like, why is he saving their children? Because his family was killed. So he's like, oh, I'm conflicted, but
I did think that was kind of like, I liked the idea. I liked him like having to team up with the mafia guy, even though that was a bad
that's
mafia
after.
guy.
That's
But
after.
Oh, I'm just saying I like that like story choice. But I mean,
do.
and
I like
gets
that
kicked
also.
off. So yeah, like the Yakuza steals these mafia guys' kids. So the mafia guys, like, they capture the Punisher and they're like, hey, you have to do this or we'll kill you. You have to help me take out the Yakuza so I can save my son. And so they team up. It's kind of a cool way to end the movie, I feel like. I liked that.
He should have just killed the mafia guy and been like, good.
Did he kill him at the end? I don't remember.
Well, yeah. But he should have killed him right then. Just been like, fuck you, I'll kill you. You're the mafia.
Oh, yeah, that'd have been cool, I guess.
Whatever.
but
He's like, no, I got to save the kids because, you know, my family was killed.
Yeah, there's a lot of like moral complications about like, will this kid grow up to be
You guys are both wrong.
mafia guy?
Shake is the one. He wasn't gonna save him. He was just gonna completely ignore the kids. And Shake was the one that comes to him and says, basically
even worse.
He basically says in his limericks or his rhymes that if he doesn't save these kids, if they survive, they're basically going to become a whole nother group of...
No, they're going to be sold to slavery in the Middle East.
Yeah. And he's going to... Yeah, which is very bad.
There's a funny scene where the Lady Tanaka has like a briefcase. She's like, oh, the child slavery business pays well. It's like a briefcase full of cash.
Yeah.
These two guys carry it in, like, in a
clearly
very
Australian
long
cash,
sequence.
whatever that is.
Their office is so awesome with the
That's a cool
Yakuza.
one.
Like, everything is like designer. Everything is like every room is
Very chic.
it's very chic and blank.
Are you talking about when they turn the key to go up a level?
Yeah,
And
then it's the headquarters.
And then it's a dojo, and it's a dojo full of, I would guess, 20-some-year-olds plus age-wise. And at the end, these people have been training for sword play their entire life, I'm assuming. And then in 3 seconds, the Punisher shoots 32 of them down. Like, they've just been training day in and day out on sword play, and then in a half a second, they're all dead by the Punisher's bullets.
Yeah,
like,
it's
how
like
unfulfilling is your life?
it's like a more
You know what I mean? Like, that's
it's like a more extreme version of
tragic.
that Raiders of the Lost Ark scene where the guy with the sword shows off and then Indy just shoots him. In this scene,
Yes,
like,
it is.
the whole movie,
mow
we've been
down like
watching them kind of
32
train.
people. As a kid, I thought this was like a mind-blowing sequence for me. It was like, it works so well. Like, when you're 8 years old, this movie is mind-blowing, especially at the time, because there's nothing like this, like, in terms of comic book movies. So I just loved it. And like, watching it now, it's like, it's such a missed opportunity. And obviously it's very clearly influenced by other action movies.
Yeah.
There's like almost nothing
Sure,
original
sure,
about
sure.
this. Like,
But I
It's
mean,
like
now,
basically an 80s action
like,
movie.
I didn't know this movie even existed, and I've watched the Punisher Netflix show. I've watched the other 2 Punisher movies, and I didn't even know this one existed. And it still has some of the qualities of the original, like, comic book Punisher, and so it's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I did enjoy those like sequences, like set pieces and stuff like that. It makes me want to, like, thinking about it as like an 80s action movie makes, like, it being one of those makes me want to like rate it higher. But there was also times where I was just like, man, this movie is like really
Well,
like worse.
you're that's how you are though. You don't like anything. You're like a very
Well, I don't think you've ever actually
I
paid
like a lot of
attention to anything you've watched. So I don't know if you
That's
like
true.
it or you're like just don't know if you like it.
Well, I mean, what, I'm missing the important shit. I'm not paying
No,
close enough
but you're
attention
never
to the Punisher.
like a hard no and you're never like a hard yes.
I think if you get bored for a moment, you tune it out and then you're like, who gives a shit? It's boring. Like I'm not
No,
gonna
I'm not.
bother.
I'm not as bad.
That's
as
why
you
I'm
guys are.
interested to see like when your kid is like 20, I'm interested to see like, hey, how's your kid doing in 20 years? And you're gonna be like, like I didn't pay attention for I kind of lost interest about 10 years ago. But 3 stars? 3 out of 5?
I stopped saying that I would rate my kid 3-star.
Well,
I don't know. Like there's a moment where it was like it kind of got boring. So I just kind of just tuned out and I was just, on
Not
Instagram.
as bad. I'm not as bad.
that's what you said about Hanzo. You said the same thing.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of dialogue in these scenes that are like, I just
Matt,
don't
your
like
kid's gonna
dialogue
talk to
scenes.
you a lot.
I don't really care for dialogue.
Yeah, there was like 5 years where my kid was like talking to me and I just
It's much more fun to watch like action, like physical action stuff, like stuff instead of like hearing people talk. Also, like, you watch movies and like they're not mixed good. You have to like turn it down low because your baby's sleeping in the other room, and then it's like you can't hear shit, and like it's like the
Get
music's too
headphones.
loud, but you can't hear the dialogue.
Yeah, I know.
I got Beats by Dre.
You're watching.
I get what
You're
you're saying, but
you're watching these movies when you're just like completely beat at the end of the day, and
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks
you're
for
just
being
fucking
understanding.
zoning out, and because of that,
So
you
what, the
bring
plot is
nothing.
really good
You
of this
bring
movie?
nothing to the podcast because you don't pay attention. So
Oh, I see.
but hold on.
I thought
this
you
happened
were
before you had the kid. Weren't
understanding.
you guys doing the podcast before the kid existed?
this is just how he is. He doesn't realize. I mean, like, look, I get it. You get bored. You don't want to pay attention.
No, I think a movie-
It's a stupid movie.
Yeah, it's a stupid movie that's like, all these. See, I tune out dialogue sometimes because I feel like dialogue scenes are cliche almost
Yeah, but
always.
It's
So,
funny.
like,
It's just
you can
funny
watch
because
and get the gist of what's going on. And it's like, if a movie can't hold your attention for that, I'd rather like enjoy watching the movie still, like the good parts or the parts where it can hold my attention, and like not worry too much about like trying to pay attention to some boring
Yeah, but
bad
like
dialogue.
people listen to us talking about it, right? Like this isn't just like us watching a movie and hanging
Well,
out.
Right, I get that.
So it's like watch
But
it and
I feel
pay
like
attention
I feel like I'm offering a lot of
So,
insight into this movie.
what did we talk
actually.
last week after Hanzo? We had this big conversation where like, you're not
We
paying
should have
attention
kept
to the
recording.
movie. I know, and like he's like, I'm gonna pay attention to the next movie, and then no,
He didn't.
Well, I did pay a lot of attention, but it was boring and I fucking tuned it out because who gives a shit? Because it's the
But
Punisher.
here's the deal, Adam.
But you
Like,
paid attention.
We are specific. I would not have watched this movie in my entire life if I
This is a
wasn't going to
huge
get
you
on a
movie, I feel
podcast
like.
to talk about it. So I paid attention so that I could have things to say to talk about it. And, even though I bombed talking about what I wanted to talk about, like,
yeah,
What was
it's- he's starting to sound like a broken record. All right,
Me?
no, at Ryan.
me.
Okay. Okay.
So there's some
He
good
ended up-
violence, and there's some good
ultimately
violence in the
on the
big climax. Like after they shoot all
I
those
did-
guys, they go like room by room. The Punisher, the Dutch mafia guy.
The
they're
Dutch
just-
mafia.
They're
Hell
just
yeah.
like they're just killing weird characters like one after the other.
Don't fuck with them. Fucking instead of cement shoes, they put wooden shoes on a guy and then drop them in like the little wooden clog things and then drop them in a river.
Dude, that's some Dutch mafia rant.
Yeah,
Boom,
that's Dutch
improv
mafia.
master, dude.
Holy shit.
There's one really funny scene where the two of them are both in like
Oh,
paper
yeah.
rooms facing each other, and they both fire machine guns. It looks like they're firing at each other, but I guess they're offset. But in between, there's like these Yakuza guys walking down the hallway, and they're taken out, and it's really bad staging.
Here's a
Wow.
big.
Go off.
I mean, there was a lot of bad staging. There was like so.
Why don't you do a rant about that, William? Go
Go
off.
off,
King.
Queen.
I did my rant.
So there was when
That was
See,
the
that's
rant.
it.
Oh, good. That's what a good riff, William. You're riffing so good right now.
Adam, hold on.
On the
So
Because
when
I'm
podcast.
talking about the movie.
when Shake
You said the same
was-
thing I did. You're like, I don't have an opinion. You did
when
the same.
Shake was Adam, hold on, shut up.
Okay.
When
Really-
when Shake was here's a big qualm I had in the final, like when
Same.
he was working with the other dude, the Don of the supposed Italian mob or whatever.
Johnny Franco.
Johnny Franco. When he gave Shake the cue to blow up the electrical box, and he goes, push this in 5 minutes, and then push this button in 15 minutes, and it blows everything up. Shake's drunk ass drops it in through like a little grate, and then he uses the dagger, the Punisher dagger, to hit the first button, right? You know what
Yes.
I'm and then he in 10 minutes after the first 5 minutes, in 15 minutes, he has to hit the second button, and all of a sudden the knife is gone. This is just a continuity issue that I have. And all of a sudden the knife is gone, and he shoots it with the pistol, and that's
Maybe
how
he
he
took
hits the
the knife
second
out.
button. But then listen, and then all the action happened, and then Shake comes out of the building and accidentally, literally runs into Lewis. What's that guy's name? The detective,
Louis Gossett
that black
Jr.
detective. Yeah, he literally runs into him and drops the knife. So he still had why didn't he just use that dagger to hit the second button? Why did he shoot the detonator? It makes absolutely no sense.
Nothing with
Then-
Shake and the elevator shaft or whatever in the sewer makes any fucking sense.
The sewer's cool.
It makes no sense to the story. There's no suspense.
It's poorly staged. Yeah, the directing is terrible. The director is phoning it in. He's just like, I'm an editor. I'll put that there. Then the next shot, he
Yeah.
That
shoots
was
them.
poor editing.
Yeah.
That was a huge
Maybe
continuity
he
error.
didn't even direct it. It could be second unit.
Okay, boys.
You know what? I drop it down half a star now that I remember that
To
scene.
what?
4.5.
It's a good rating.
Yeah, that's good.
I loved
I
it,
get
man. Anything with he was a good Punisher.
I get it. Yeah, I would give it 4.5 too.
I wish there was just more hand-to-hand combat, and I wish he wasn't a
love-
cop, and they
I
would have played
that-
the Marine.
That's a great point, Ryan, because at the end of the movie, the Punisher has a hand-to-hand combat sequence that is fucking awesome. And I wish the whole time I was like,
Which
oh,
one?
when Dolph Lundgren is
Oh,
like
with
beating
the-
up like
the
one
woman.
of the Yakuza guys. I don't know what he's like fighting a
Oh,
guy and
yep. He's fighting two of them.
yeah, and like he looks so awesome doing hand-to-hand
That's the
combat.
red light scene, right?
Yeah.
It looks smooth. It looks
All right.
smooth. Like it looked like a
Yeah, that seems
a,
great.
a well choreographed fight scene. I know exactly. Yeah. Why
I
wasn't
kind
that
of
the
want
whole
to bump it up a half star actually after this talk. To be frank. Back
To what?
five.
What's your
One
what's
star?
your
Back
what's
to
your
Oh.
five.
rating?
Well, I was initially thinking it was 2 because it's like I was just like, damn, this is just too boring and shit. And it's just like, but like it has these good scenes that are pretty fun. And
climax
just
is
thinking of it as
great.
like an 80s action movie, I'm like, it's pretty fun. It's got like a style to it that like
It ends super strong. Now it does have a style and there is style, but then there are these like valleys of no
Yeah.
style. of,
Yeah,
like,
It was
yeah.
so
terrible mafia.
boring in
This
the
is what I'm
middle.
saying.
Yeah.
And, but the last scene I really like, which is when after they kill Lady Tanaka, they rescue the kid, and then the mafia guy's like, Johnny, go wait in the other room. And then he's like, pulls out his gun like he's going to kill the Punisher. And then they like fight over it. And then the Punisher kills him. And then the little kid comes out and then he picks up the gun and he points the gun at the Punisher. And then the Punisher gets down on his knees, takes the kid's gun, and then
pushes it to his forehead,
pushes it to his forehead.
Yeah, that's
or
cool.
his third eye.
It's fucking
Ooh,
awesome.
yeah, damn, dude.
And he
It just
goes,
blew my mind.
he goes, kill me now, otherwise I'm gonna come for you. What does he say? He says something badass.
Yeah, because he's
shit
like,
where he's like, he goes, kill me now. You're a good kid. Don't grow up to be like your father. Kill me now, otherwise I'll come for you.
Damn. That's
And
crazy.
then he
That's,
and then he leaned. This is the craziest, but he leans in and kisses the kid on the lips, and he goes, "You've just been successfully punished."
you've been punished.
what if he got on his hands and knees and he just like put the gun in his butt? Just like,
Pull the trigger now, otherwise I'm gonna do the.
he's just like looking back.
Shoot me.
He's looking back at him with like his like sad, sweaty goth hair. There's like the Punisher
me,
skull.
Otherwise, I'm gonna punish you.
That
The
would've been awesome
Punisher
if it ended
skull's
like
on
that.
his ass.
Yeah.
Like makeup. And there's like,
It's
there's
just
the
the shape of his
logo.
butthole.
With the words-
Oh yeah.
with the
That's
words-
how it's called.
Punish me in
It
old
says
English
punish me.
font above it.
Clearly hand carved in
Whoa.
prison.
Damn.
With a Bic pen.
Jesus. Okay.
There's like a little Sharpie. It says like Shake was here and a little arrow and a winky face.
Shake was here.
yeah, that'd be
Way
crazy.
isn't clear. Because we
Um,
always rhymed.
You don't like the riff, Adam? It's too much.
that's a little rude for my taste.
And then Adam's just in the corner jerking off the whole time.
And then the kid actually pulls the trigger in his asshole, and it just cuts to the Punisher's face after the trigger's been pulled, and it's like a total climax freeze frame, and then credits roll over that.
On his O face.
Some badass, some badass.
Instead of a bullet, like just a dildo comes out
like
of the gun.
that's-
The kid like smokes a
Adam,
cigarette.
Adam, come on.
Sorry.
The kid's like smoking
Adam.
a cigarette. And his like mom
Sorry
picks
for
him
being
up.
rude.
And he's like the new head of the family.
It was,
He's like
"I'm
sitting
the
at the
Punisher.
I'm the new Punisher. And then he puts the dildo up his own ass.
Bitch, cut the crust off my PB&J next time like I demand. Yeah! Credits roll. Dolph Lundgren.
So
credits.
apparently they wanted to do a sequel, but
And
the
then
movie was released in
hold on.
theaters worldwide,
I'm not
except
done. I'm not done
the
with
United
this. I'm not done
States.
with this.
Oh,
I'm not
that's too
done with
bad.
this. After the rolls, and then
Yeah.
the guy comes out. The guy
The
comes
yeah.
out who edited the outro credits. He comes out and he goes, "Hi, I'm the guy that outroed the credit. I did all the editing on the outro credits. Not the same guy that did the intro credits, and I deserve some attention."
Okay,
he
you're
just,
right.
like,
These people don't deserve recognition.
They
for
don't
their work,
deserve
Ryan.
shit. Actors are the
Jesus.
only talent on set.
He's just like talking over the credits. He's like, I made these credits.
I made
designed
these
it."
credits. Hire
Had a
me
very
to
good
make these
time.
credits.
Yeah, like your credits could be here. Like there's like a 1-800 number, like an ad. Or like some stupid shit. Like you would see like, in LA, like you'll see a guy driving on the freeway and then his entire car will be like stickered or like
Yeah,
covered.
that guy. I love those guys.
It's like they're an actor. They have like their phone
Yeah.
number and they're like, come on, you need an actor, reach out to me. You need a title sequence designer, reach out to me.
You need
Totally.
an actor and or an Uber, reach out to me. I'm here.
And then Dolph Lundgren gets up off the floor and after the credits, he's like, hi, I'm Dolph Lundgren. I'm an actor. I've played He-Man in Masters of the Universe. And I was the star of Red Scorpion. And of course, you may remember me from Rocky IV.
Why?
I just want to say I'm available for acting work. And here's my business card. He just like holds up a business card to the
That's
camera. And
tiny.
it's completely out of focus.
And it's tiny because he's like 17
Cool.
feet tall. And he's like, I'm 17 feet tall, and I know a lot of actors lie about their height, but I'm actually 17 feet tall, and I have just played the Punisher, and I think I deserve the credit.
People should say, I think I deserve the credit. I think. Yeah, this kind of reminded me of Max Payne,
Oh, that movie's dope, dude.
the video game, but yeah.
Nah, the game's all right. That movie's sick.
Dude, Mark Wahlberg.
Hell yeah.
I love the scene in the movie where Mark Wahlberg carves Max Payne forever into his chest.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Or when he dates Reese Witherspoon.
Love you.
In the game. That's in the game.
You're off mic and camera. You're off mic and camera.
Who is? What's he talking?
Oh shit!
about?
I forgot. I thought I turned the mic off. Sorry, but I'm not on camera this week.
It's getting hot and
I
heavy.
thought I
at
switched.
What's
Adam's
happening?
house.
I had switched the microphone off.
We
just
cut.
kissing
We
my
cut
wife
to.
goodnight.
We cut to his video, and it's his wife with like luggage, and she's clearly leaving Adam, taking the kids. It's like,
Not on camera. She's
and
just,
then
like,
we
packing.
and then we
She's
talk for
packing.
another 30 minutes, and she shows up in the back of my screen with the luggage.
With your dad.
With the
I'm like, wait a
luggage and
minute,
my
you're not in
dad.
bed.
Anyways, what do you
So
think
what's-
the point of this movie is?
Oh, well, obviously the point is don't trust the Japanese. Okay. They will kill you.
Yeah.
They will
Why?
betray you.
Why?
This is a team up, like a
No.
movie where like
You're
the
wrong.
white people set aside their differences to fight the Japanese.
And lose.
You know what I mean? The
They lose.
Italians,
The Japanese wipe the white
The
people out
Anglos.
immediately.
they come together to fight the Japanese.
The point is join the Japanese. Don't otherwise they'll kidnap your children.
I mean, they only want it like what, 75% of all profits?
Yeah,
It's not bad.
25%. Take it. Probably don't got to do nothing.
That's
Yeah,
not
let
everything.
them take the hate. You
But
know?
the thing is when they flexed like that, they had already murdered like 15 people in a stealth manner. They stealthily murdered 15 of the mafia guys. They like proved that their muscle was stronger. 3 of them murdered like 15 people. And then they were
Kidnapping-
like,
and they were
hey,
kidnapping
being...
children. Everywhere.
Well, they did that because they didn't agree. They didn't agree to
no.
their terms.
These,
That's some Joker
I gotta say,
shit.
Louis Gossett Jr. has to be the worst cop, the worst
He
detective.
was the
in
worst.
movie history.
Can we talk about? I know this is kind of unrelated, but the
What's
scene where he's captured by the people and he has to go to the bathroom, he goes, "Is there an IQ test for these people?" Gets out of the cuffs because he pretend. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
He gets
When he's
out of the cuffs.
Arrested by the cops.
No, the mafia has him in custody. I guess it wouldn't be called custody, hostage. And he goes, "I gotta pee," and the guy goes, "Good for you." And he goes, "Do you think your boss wants a yellow stain on his thing, on his chair?" And so they get him up, and he goes, "Are you gonna handle my unit, or are you gonna handle?"
Oh, yeah,
the
he-
unit?"
he's
And the
just
guy's like,
trying to-
"Fine, I guess I'll uncuff you." And then he uncuffs him, and he,
Yeah.
and he goes, but instead of immediately knocking this guy out, he goes, "Do you guys?" He has to put a quip in, and then he goes, "Do you guys? Is there an IQ test to be in this gang?" And they go, "No, why?" And then he knocks the guy
Yeah.
out. And then
Awesome.
immediately, within like 5 seconds, the other henchman comes in. He goes, "I got the pizza."
Oh yeah, that was hot.
Yes, I got. Like
He's the best cop ever. What are you
He's
talking
the-
about, Williams?
he's the happiest henchman because he's like, "I brought the pizza."
Well,
And then
he also doesn't.
smashes the pizza in his face
Yeah,
and
that's a
then
great
knocks
line.
him down.
That would
pizza's
kill
awesome.
in a theater, I bet.
I got the pizza. Oh, I'm crying about it right now.
Yeah, it's good.
He doesn't have to do anything because he has the Punisher killing all the criminals.
But he
Yeah.
doesn't. But he's like bitching about the Punisher the whole time.
But
Like
that was the
he's
the
like,
thing.
Punisher's
Like,
not
oh,
real or
cops
something
aren't
like that.
completely bad.
right.
Like cops
All
aren't
right.
completely incompetent.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
just like
the
one of those
metaphor
things.
or whatever.
It's just it's like all those. It's a
And
cliche.
he picks up a slice of pizza and walks out.
Yeah.
He picks a
The
disgusting
tiniest
slice.
The
off the
tiniest
floor.
slice.
Pizza.
I just feel, man. I think the moral of the story is if you're gonna be a henchman in some sort of Italian mafia, just don't be the guy that has to go get the pizza. You're gonna be at the pizza place, and you're gonna be thinking, God, hell yeah, everybody's gonna be so pumped when I bring this pizza back. I'm gonna be the guy that brings the pizza back. What am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? Pizza's here, pizza's on, soup's on. What am I gonna say? And you're walking 6 blocks with the pizza all the way back to the, and then you're waiting in the elevator. You're waiting up the elevator for 43 floors. You put the secret key in to get up to the secret floor, and then you come around the corner, you go, I got the and then you just get blasted.
He's the guy who's always hungry at work and is like, guys, I'm thinking today we're gonna get pizza, like they just got there. They're like, yeah, we'll eat whatever, man. No one cares. He's like, so I'm gonna order pizza. We're all in for pizza, right, guys? We're getting pizza.
Pizza, my treat.
And then the moment he comes back with the pizza, he's like, pizza's here. Immediately killed. Just dead.
He didn't get killed, but immediately the pizza's shoved in his face.
He's falling.
He came around the corner with the pizza box already open. Like he
trying to eat the pizza as he's falling down.
It's like week one in the mafia. And he's just trying to he's like the guy that brings donuts to overcompensate for being the newbie.
Fuck.
I got the pizza.
Imagine thinking you're about to eat a bunch of pizza and then getting punched in the face and not eating pizza.
Also, he ordered an entire pizza for just him and the other guy.
That's cool.
I mean, I've ate all pizza.
They like takeout, these guys.
Yeah, you could say that.
They're eating
This traditional Italian mafia loves takeout. I got the pizza. Fuck. And I just immediately I want to see a movie about that guy, a short film, him going to get the pizza.
The world's like, it's like his life story, like Goodfellas. He's like, all my life, all I ever wanted to eat was pizza. Bump, 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 bump. He's just like,
well, they got a detective detained.
He's like,
I got the pizza.
I was a little worried when the Punisher killed 125 other members of the mafia, but what was I going to do? I like pizza.
The pizza guy the next day after the news article comes out where it's Punisher kills 124 people and he goes, and one pizza. They didn't even add that to the
He's like in a full body cast in the hospital watching it on TV crying.
Now he becomes a pizza man, the ultimate villain against.
Oh, that's ironic. Yeah.
Hey, I got your fucking pizza right here.
Poetic irony.
Yeah, and that's how he kills people is boiling hot pizza. He just
quits the mafia and he becomes a pizza man. He's like,
he's the pizza man. But he
ultimately finds happiness.
He's in like Nevada or like Utah. He's like in the witness protection program. He's like mafia pizza man.
Nice.
That's a screenplay. We gotta write that shit.
The Pizza Man. He's one of the only ones. He's literally one of the only ones that survived the Frank Castle massacre.
Yeah.
I'm the Pizza Man.
It's like Marvel Studios presents the Pizza Man.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this takes place in the Punisher 89 universe. It's the Pizza Man. The guy had the pizza and got punched in the face. He has his own series on Disney Plus now.
And the Punisher comes in once out of like 6 seasons. The Punisher comes in.
Dolph Lundgren gets like one cameo. He's like,
one
so
cameo
happy
to ask for info. He's like, "What should I order? The pepperoni?" But it's like a secret code for some information he needs.
And then it's like some A-list actor way overqualified playing the pizza guy.
Paul Rudd.
Yeah. Well, he's Ant-Man, but like.
He's also the pizza guy.
Jack Black.
Bob Oden.
Oh, yeah. Jack Black. Just doing high kicks.
Well,
here's your pizza. He's just doing. I'm flexibly flat. I'm flexibly flat. I'm flexibly blah.
And they're like, they keep asking Dolph Lundgren, like, why aren't you in the Pizza Man show? Like, that's like based on your movie. He's like, I don't know. Okay. For some reason, they just won't return my phone calls. I don't know what's going on.
I think I'm too tall. Adam, what's your ad? It starts with him smacking his teeth. I don't know why that's so funny. But
Smacking his teeth.
yeah, just like smacking his lips.
I thought that was a pretty good riff that you guys did.
Thank you.
Can you rate it?
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as well.
Let's do another half hour.
Oh.
What would you rate that riff, Adam? Out of 5.
You don't want to hear my.
Were you paying it?
I don't like rating friends.
Were you?
I don't like,
you weren't even paying attention.
I
don't like rating friends riffs.
Why don't you ever answer a question when we just?
Yeah, why you're like a living pleading the fifth.
Okay, what about a heart? Do we get a heart?
Yeah, I'll give you a heart out of because we're friends and stuff.
We get a heart, but no rating.
Yeah. I want you to know that I like it and support you guys.
But what do you rate it?
A 4. It was a good 4.
I think he tuned us out. I think we bored him.
You weren't even paying attention.
You got a lot of dialogue. It's a lot of dialogue.
Too much. I think
it's a lot of dialogue.
Sure, it was a 5.
That was too much. Was it 2 minutes? Was the audio podcast we do too much dialogue?
Sometimes it feels like
you were literally just didn't pay attention to me saying was the audio.
If you wanted to be here, we would end the show. But the fact that you want to leave is like it just makes it way more fun.
No, it's not that I want to leave. I just I have a couple things I have to do before bed.
But what do you have to do?
To clean up the kitchen.
Oh, what does that entail?
Yeah. Some quiet dishwashing so I don't wake up the baby.
Why don't you wait till tomorrow to do the dishes?
I don't have a lot of time to listen to you guys do 4-star riffs, okay? If you want me to stick around, maybe you do 5. Make it 5.
Why don't you wait and do the dishes in the morning?
That's not how it works. That's not how it works when you have a baby and a wife, right? And a family that loves you.
Adam.
Didn't mean to get so descriptive about all the wonderful things I have in my life.
It sounds awful, dude. You can't even pay attention to movies. You can't listen to. You can't hang out. It does not sound great.
That's
you have to clean up another person's shit.
That's why dads are heroes.
Probably retarded.
That's why dads are heroes.
Maybe we should blow up Adam's wife and kid. Turn them into the Punisher.
And then you go live in a
Free
sewer.
Me, then we just be our bachelors. They got a couple bachelors going around.
You just podcast. You you paint your face black and white with a skull, and you're like living in the sewer. And you're just like podcasting.
Podcast Punisher, podcast Punisher, and you live in a sewer. Adam, you'd be more interesting if you lived in a sewer. I'll be honest with you. Your toe shoes would make more sense.
Yeah, those are the shoes of sewer people.
You just have like floaties on and you're like floating down the sewer, just chilling out.
Instead of a motorcycle, instead of a cool motorcycle, you just got wings.
Yeah, the sewers were completely
wings.
dry and clean, by the way.
That's Australia, baby.
Damn, Australia is like a utopia. Their sewers are like that clean and dry.
Those are nice sewers.
Yeah, I would, better than some apartments in Koreatown. You know what I'm saying, guys?
It's pretty funny.
I lived in Koreatown. I get it. Yeah.
All right, let's end.
Cheaper, at least.
We're gonna end with a big joke from Adam.
Close it down. Hit us with the banger.
Give us the final word.
Bang it out, dude. Hit us with a banger.
I do like the character of the Punisher. Ultimately, I think it's cool that there's just a character that just like kills Italian people. He just kills Italians
exclusively.
Yeah, that's a fun thing about the character.
It would be so funny if he was in the Vatican at the beginning and he was just like killing the Pope and all these like bishops and like.
Just hates Italians.
He doesn't kill the Yakuza woman at the end.
He teams up with the Yakuza.
Oh, if only you were Italian.
I hate Italians. He just like kills the Pope, and then
I brought the pizza, and then I just slap.
Yeah, he just hates
there's
pizza.
like a bishop with the pizza.